Biconomy is a developer platform which basically makes Web3 applications, decentralized applications, way more easy and just simple to use for end users. So essentially, we target developers, the dApp developers, who will create, just simpler Web3 products for their end users. Now, how we sort of do that is we've created something we call a relay infrastructure network, which essentially targets and solves problems at the crypto transactional layer. And what I mean by that is, things to deal with gas, with, complicated transactions when setting up a wallet and actually going through that sort of hurdle of actually, interacting with a smart contract within a dApp, right?
Okay.
And so the first product essentially which we wanted to basically give to developers to help them solve a particular pain point was removing this gas friction away from end users. So an analogy I do like to use all the time is, Netflix doesn't charge you the AWS bill every time you watch a video.
Right.
So why on every dApp you use, you'd always have to pay gas,
Yeah.
right? Like this thing should be totally gone, or it could be repackaged in a different way.
Yeah.
And so for us, we're just like, okay, let's just remove this gas thing, and get developers to pay these fees on behalf of their end users.
Okay.
And that way you have, way more retention and lower drop-off rates from end users.
From end users.
So that was like the initial, starting point. And this is all called meta transactions. This is the sort of the technical term for this.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, so if you're a dApp user, what you're doing is you're using this decentralized application, and every time you use this decentralized application, you end up being charged a very high fee, and this is called a gas fee. It's usually paid in Ethereum, and this is super inconvenient for the user. And so you saw this, and you're like, okay, this is going to be a huge problem. Nobody's going to actually end up adopting any of these decentralized applications, no matter how great they are.
Even if it's cheap, right? So when we started, Ethereum gas fees weren't so high. So we're not in the business of, completely saving 90% on gas fees. Yes, we could optimize. We could optimize maybe up to 40%. But optimizing, let's say, if a gas fees are $100 and paying $40, for most users that's still expensive. Yes, we could help the whales.
Right.
But the idea is more so we're trying to sort of build something where we're basically building the future we want to see, in the sense where gas fees will become low in the future. Ethereum will solve it, somebody else will solve it, layer 2 will solve it, and we'll get into that later. But once gas fees are low, developers will pay for it because they know it makes sense for their underlying. Yeah.
It's like you said, exactly that. So now instead of having the customers or the end user paying for it, then you're just going to have the developers or whoever's creating this decentralized application pay that bill in the way that they would pay their AWS bill, their Azure bill, their Google Cloud bill. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And even you could have sponsors like, this coffee place, right? Even sponsoring gas fees, right? They could put up a GIF, right, just before a transaction, and this gas fee is being sponsored by this company, Nike, Starbucks, whoever,
right?
And then the end user would go on about doing whatever they want to. So again, that's another way of repackaging gas, right? I mean, we're not this could be a potential product in the future, but it's something that if everyone comes into the blockchain, I'm 100% sure there will be some companies wanting to do that, right? The decentralized folks, of course, that's against their whole ethos. But as more and more people come and actually adopt blockchain and decentralized applications, we'll see way new models coming out to repackage UX.
No, that makes sense, because you're right, because this is a problem that unless the actual tech infrastructure through the different layer 2 or whatever comes afterwards actually solve this on their own, it will always be an issue for everyone.